see my favorite live act again the other night, and I want to talk about them as well as one of the opening bands. So let's get right to that. If I had to pick a favorite genre of music, and really it's a subgenre of a subgenre, but my favorite style of music I would have to say is skacore. The first opening act of the night was a band called the Filthy Radicals. You can see that I enjoyed them enough to purchase a compact disc. Look how compact that disc is. As well as a t-shirt, because I'm all about supporting the musicians. And the Filthy Radicals are a skacore band right up there along the lines of Leftover Crack and their other iterations like F- and Choking Victim. Other skacore bands like the Suicide Machines, Operation Ivy, Against All Authority, Link 80, that sort of thing. And Filthy Radicals fit right in there with that style of music. They were super fun, super high energy, really enjoyed checking them out. They are from Toronto, Canada, and it was actually an all-Canadian lineup of punk bands. We had the Filthy Radicals from Toronto, we had Boyds from Montreal, and then there were the Dreadnoughts from Vancouver, so a few major Canadian cities represented there. After the Filthy Radicals were the Boyds, and they were very high energy as well, tons of fun, hilarious. I don't know if I necessarily listened to their music, but as a live act, they were great fun and enjoyed seeing them as well. They did have a bit of technical problems during their set, which is unfortunate because they played probably 20 minutes, and so they drove basically 14-hour round trip from Montreal to play for 20 minutes. So it was fun for me, probably not so much fun for them. And then headlining the show were the Dreadnoughts, who, as I mentioned at the beginning, are my favorite band to see live just because of how ridiculously fun they are, how high energy and really funny, and just what a great time it is.
She's your daily business. Sit down, the shit's so wet. You need something for your wages. Sons and daughters, the true emperor and waters will lead you to the slaughter. Sit down with the gentle. Here we go. La 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 me until we die. Gentlemen's Club.
It was kind of weird though, because they were all set to go on stage at 10 minutes to midnight, and for whatever reason they couldn't start playing before midnight, even though the other two opening acts had already done their thing. And so there was this really weird, awkward situation where they were all just kind of standing around on stage trying to make some small talk and jokes and saying how awkward this was. And the bass player pulls out his phone and asks if anyone wants to play a game of Carcassonne with him on the phone. Board games and punk rock are a good mix. But I'm going to have to message the band and see if they can tell me why they had to stand there for 10 minutes and wait till exactly midnight to start their set, because it was bizarre. I've never seen a band ready to go and just be unable to play for whatever reason. And so while I was waiting, I popped down to the washroom one last time, and as I was coming back up, they started into their set finally. And there's a weird layout of this particular establishment with a bit of a maze of passageways and doors in the basement where the washrooms were. And I ended up coming up the wrong staircase. Next thing I knew, I found myself at side stage within feet of the band that had just started playing. And I was looking for a way to actually get out into the audience, but the only way was forward onto the stage. So I just popped back down the stairs and wandered around until I found the door that could take me upstairs again. But then once I got up there, they had launched into Antarctica, and it was all good from there. The pit was okay. Some kids were kind of dancing around a bit, and being a high energy show, people were moving a bit, but you know, it wasn't like Casualties pit or a Suicide Machines pit, not that level of crazy, but it was still a lot of fun. Every set the Dreadnoughts play, their drummer, who I think they call the Crazy Swede, does this thing where he takes one of his drums usually and some sort of drumstick, and he will kind of launch himself up on top of the crowd, and he'll have the crowd surf him across the length of the establishment over to the bar to get a drink, and have them crowd surf him back onto the stage again. This time around, he thought he would have the crowd carry him sitting on a stool over to the bar and back again. And it was the same establishment where I actually saw them last time. And last time it went off pretty well. This time around, he only got maybe 10 or 15 feet from the stage, and the crowd was like, no, I don't think we're carrying you all the way across this time. And they sort of turned around, started going back to the stage, and he's frantically gesturing them to send him back to the bar. Somebody basically just hands him a bottle of beer, and they dump him back on the stage again. So that was kind of funny. I guess people weren't too motivated to carry him very far this time. But here's the thing that really got me about the Dreadnoughts this time. Earlier in the day, they had played a festival show way up in Quebec. So at 1 p.m. they had played a set at the festival. They'd then gotten into their van, driven about 7 hours down to Toronto, and then at midnight got on the stage to play a second set on the same day. And after an hour they were wrapping up, but the crowd was basically chanting to get them back on the stage. So they came back out and played another few songs. And just that level of work and dedication from a band to play the set, to drive 7 hours, to play a second set at midnight is quite amazing. It's the level of dedication that a successful band has to have, and just the amount of work they put into it for whatever rewards they get out of it. But certainly as a fan, I appreciate that a lot.
You ever wonder how you got your name, or why the people here are not the same? The angel Gabriel appeared message loud and clear. Now they're on their knees, crying, Father, please, and rotting this disease. They're singing on my key. No matter how your good book reads, in the beginning was the dream. Come on, together, it's zero, every
They played a few songs from an album that is soon going to be released. One of the songs sounded very much like their standard polka style tunes, which is a joke that I'm finding is getting a little bit old. I do enjoy their music style, and it can be fun to hear these sort of polka influenced punk songs every so often, but not if they start to all kind of sound the same. The other two songs they played sounded great, and I'm certainly looking forward to checking out their new album when it's released, and going back to see them once they start touring on that album, hopefully before the end of this year. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking them out again. It's just a ridiculously fun band to see live. You should definitely check them out if you get a chance. There you go. Got a new album. The Filthy Radicals album called Cloak and Stagger. It's a great album. Got to see 3 fantastic bands, and looking forward to a new album coming out from the Dreadnoughts soon. Hey, what's up? It's Josh here, just taking a minute to thank you for sticking around right to the end of this video. It really means a lot to me. If you want to support me a bit, you can give me a little thumb up on the video here. It would be super if you would send a link to this video to one music fan in your life, and I hope I will see you next time. Cheers. I saw one of my favorite live acts. It is my favorite live act. Oh, I almost fell off the couch. If I had to pick, typically he'll bring one of his, every set they played, their drummer, let me just look that up for a second. That's another name for a bar.